here knows what these are? Everyone, I assume, right? Our generation has actually been called the gaming generation. You know, it's needless to say, everybody in our room knows what these are. PlayStation, Xbox. A lot of times in the media, you hear things about, you know, violence in video games, and it makes us all go absolutely crazy. But my question to you guys is, who here has played Call of Duty or Halo on either one? Almost everyone here. So the interesting thing is, I don't know about you, I've played them, but I don't consider myself a really violent person. You know, last I checked, I'm not going to look around the room and see somebody coming in and just start freaking out. I don't think any of you guys are going to do that. If you do know somebody who's going to do that, you might want to talk to someone. But this is what mass media has told us to believe. But I find that interesting because so many of us really do play video games. But what else does mass media make us believe? They tell us that we can be violent, that we can be antisocial, that we can't focus, that video games are going to completely destroy our eyesight, and that they're going to make us real sluggish, lazy, fat, grotesque people. Because I'm totally the epitome of that. So, but to start off, let's really talk about who gamers are. Me personally, I play a lot of video games. A lot of RPGs, those 60-hour games that you see those kids sitting in front of the television for days. Yeah, that's me. But I'm not the average gamer. See, video gamers, most of them who are hardcore gamers, only 9% of them are under the age of 18. And 63% of parents actually believe that video games are good for people. 56% of them are male, 44% female, and most people play, on average, 18 hours per week. Violent video games, the ones that really get all the bad hype, aren't even in the top 3 of what percentage-wise of what's been sold. It starts off with action games at 22.3%. Then you go down to family entertainment at 17.6%. And last, sports games, you know, Madden, NFL, things like that, came in third at 14%. 68% of Americans own a console within their house, and the average age of a gamer is actually 35, with 25% of them being over the age of 50. So that's who gamers are. But of course, mass media has told us that, you know, we're all little kids who go on violent killing streaks. But the problem with that is that there's so many factors that contribute to violence. You see, genetics, environment, social situation, abuse, and education are much more influential than any video game will ever be. And that's according to Dr. Tyler Lack, who is the clinical director of child and adolescent psychology in Canada. Also, another doctor, Dr. Shao, went to PAX, which is Penny Arcade Expo in Seattle. And he said that he found the people there to be very friendly. They weren't fighting or cheating. They actually complimented each other. And he told that any researcher who wants to believe that we're all violent maniacs should really go to one of them, because he actually felt safer at night with all those people around. So, this is kind of the same argument as video games create violent people, well, guns kill people, of course. But the interesting thing is, we spend less on video games than Japan, but when you go down to the bottom, our gun homicides in 2008 were astronomically larger. So where's the correlation? This is also another chart here that talks about violence and video game sales. As video game sales actually go up into 2007, total violent crime offenses went down even. Again, I ask you, where is the correlation? All right, antisocial. See, a lot of people nowadays who go and participate in massive multiplayer online games. They promote pro-social behavior, such as trading, cooperative play, forming alliances, and creating rules of conduct. You need to be able to get along with a diverse group of people, and actually antisocial people are often barred from these communities, according again to Dr. Chow. See, also me personally, when I was little, Pokemon was everywhere. Yes. Constantly, on the bus, everywhere. You all remember, that was a huge social thing. You go to school, and that's what your friends were talking about. And another thing is, if you've ever heard of cosplay, people go to conventions and things, they dress up with all their friends, and it really is a real great big community. This is a bunch of characters from Final Fantasy X, and I have to admit personally, my brother and I would have absolutely nothing in common except for the same mother that we share if it was not for video games. So that's certainly something that I can say to that. All right, so video games, another myth is that they're really bad for focus. ADD kids go rampant with them. But the interesting thing is that action gamers actually resolve conflict faster than most people. They were able to go through this chart without thinking about it, like the yellow, how it's actually in red, much faster than the average person. And average adults can track 3 to 4 objects at a time, like these little blue sad faces against all the happy ones. But gamers can track 6 to 7 simultaneously, much better than your average person. And all of this is really great. However, the reason that this happens is because there's 3 different networks in your brain that contribute to your focus, to your attention. And these are more efficient in people who play action games. It affects your brain's wow, I can't say that word, so I'm going to skip it. And this was done by Dr. Daphne Bavelier, who is a cognitive neuroscience and has her own lab in Geneva. Action gamers are also much faster at changing tasks and paying the lower neurological cost for the switch, meaning that they're better multitaskers. A lot of us think that we can multitask, that we can chat, we can talk on our cell phone, we can surf the web, but in true honesty, Stanford studies have shown that we're just plain abysmal at it. Really awful. But gamers, however, are unique. They're different. They actually do show better multitasking abilities than the average person. All right, eyesight. A lot of us, we've heard it over and over again that being in front of TV for too long can be terrible, damaging to your eyesight. But in reality, action gamers, because you're constantly moving your eyes and looking at everything, there are certain things that it improves upon. They're able to resolve small details in clutter. They're able to see better things on small details on the prescription bottles a lot better. And also, like when you're driving in fog, there's something called contrast sensitivity, meaning that you're able to distinguish the different shades of gray a lot easier than the average person. So non-action gamers, they could choose that, like they could read down to that line, a little in red, where action gamers on the chart could go all the way down to the green one, thus again proving how their eyesight is improved. So what other benefits do games have? They improve hand-eye coordination. They help people rehabilitate from having strokes by improving upon their motor skills. They enable people to be able to make faster decisions, and they improve upon their creativity as well. So what is the reality of video games and your health? The reality is video games do not equal violence. They actually encourage pro-social behavior and social interaction. They improve focus in many people, and they are better for their eyesight. They make us more creative, and they help people rehabilitate and improve their motor skills. So, in essence, your brain on video games. You're smarter, better, faster, stronger.